Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Main Event Interviews. My name is Main Event. It is 5 o'clock here on the east coast of the U.S. It is 10 o'clock UTC time. It looks like, let's see some of these other times. It's 2 o'clock on the west coast of the U.S., 11 in Paris, 6 o'clock in Beijing, and we welcome all of you to the show. I'm solo tonight. My co-host Poetic Snake is taking a night off, possibly. It is her birthday. So everybody, if you see Poetic Snake online in the next day or so here, wish her a happy birthday. And she might join us later in the show, but as of right now, she is celebrating her birthday. So again, happy birthday to Poetic Snake. Again, my name is Main Event. This is the Main Event Interview Show on MSP Waves Radio. The MSP Waves is a project under Minnow support, which is in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty Network on Discord. You can find them in all the various chat rooms and the Minnow support project on there as well. Again, that's the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server on Discord. And this is MSP Waves Radio. You can find a full listing of all the shows at mspwaves.com. And hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday night. And again, my name is Main Event, and what this show is every week we bring on different members of the Steemit community. We get to know them a little better, hear their story, what brought them to Steemit, what they're blogging about, and, maybe the different groups they're involved in or the projects they're working on, and present them to you, all of you, the listeners. And we're welcome to have any of you on the show anytime. Just certainly send me a message on Discord if you are interested in being a guest on the show sometime. We do have a full list tonight here, so we've got 4 Steemit users who are all going to join us on the show tonight. So stick around. We're going to be on here for 2 hours. And let's see here. Let's check in with the MSP Waves audience chat room on the PAL network and see who is listening. I see Jesse out there. Thank you, Jesse, for spreading the word about the radio shows and doing a little bit of spamming for us. I don't want to call it that, but, sending the link around so people know about the radio show. Thank you, Jesse. Leon is listening. Welcome to the show, Leon. I see Geek out there in the audience. Geek will be a guest on the show tonight. Pensive says howdy from Wales. Happy to have you here, Pensive. Jazik says howdy, buddy. Hope I'm saying that right. Probably not, but I apologize. Stace is out there. Thank you for listening, Stace. Wolf's out there. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in. I know there's probably other people who are listening through other sources, so they may not be in the chat room. I see Rakasan84 joining us in the chat. Welcome. I see Sir Lunch, the host. Welcome, Sir Lunch. He will be on the show tonight as well. So we have a very busy show tonight. Take a quick drink there. Thank you very much for joining us. And again, this is 100% live here on MSP Waves. And my name is Main Event. You can find me on Steemit under that name. I just use the number 1 instead of an I. So it's spelled a little bit funky, but Main Event on Steemit. And we do this show again every Wednesday night. And let's bring on my first guest. Beans, are you there?
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the show, Beans. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
That's my pleasure. And tell us, whereabouts in the world are you this evening?
I am in the UTC region, which means it's quite late here. It's 10 o'clock in Ireland.
Wonderful. In Ireland. And how long have you been on Steemit?
I joined Steemit back in July of 2016. So around the time that Steam really pumped up to like $4 or whatever it was. And my brother's also on Steemit. He introduced me to Steam. And he basically told me about the, I don't know if anyone who's new, I don't know if you all know about the girl who made like 30 grand on a makeup tutorial. But yeah, he told me about that story and I was like, okay, I've got to get on that. But yeah, so I'm here since July of 2016.
That's awesome. So you've definitely been on here for a while then. I would call you a veteran Steemit user. And that's really interesting that your brother actually brought you on here. So it's cool that you have a family member that's also on Steemit. I'm not sure many people can really say that.
Yeah, yeah. He's an orca whale here. He's demo truck.
Oh, awesome. Great. That's really cool. And so tell us about some of the things you're using Steemit for.
So I host the Vote2 podcast on Steam. That's the main thing that I publish now. I mean, when I first came to Steam, I tried out a few things. I first started writing a fitness blog. Then I was writing a blog on training my puppy. And then I met Sarah Lunch, the host, and we decided to start a podcast. So that was like almost this time last year, almost a year ago. And yeah, it actually started off as us doing like little skits on a podcast, and then it turned into like the Vote2 interview segment where we similarly just interviewed Steemians from the community and witnesses and all sorts. So yeah, we did a lot of trolling though, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's good at that, isn't he? Getting you to do vlogs. He got me to do one as well, so that's a lot of fun. I've joined his vloggers guild, and yeah, no, it's crazy how Steemit introduces you to all these new things.
I thought you meant trolling. He's good at trolling.
Oh, that wow. I won't comment there, okay? No, but the,
Expert.
yeah, but the vlogs are fun, and that's something I'm trying out now and experimenting with, and it is interesting. So tell us about your podcast. So you said you're still doing that?
Yeah, so it's the Voices of the Underground. Solange has taken kind of a back seat, but it's basically a podcast where we discuss various different ideas behind the blockchain and behind the community and things that are going on. It's fun sometimes, and then when there's lots of drama, you kind of have to get down to the nitty gritty and talk about what's going on and how to sort of look at it objectively and see, what we can do to better the community.
Oh, that's really awesome. And so where can they find that too if they want to listen to that podcast? Where do they go to do that?
I host it in the Vote2 Discord, so I'll share a link down in the text if you like.
Sure. So yeah, everybody, if you're listening and you're not in the audience chat room, feel free to jump in there with us. If you use Discord, we're in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server, which is the home of the Minnow Support Project and MSP Waves Radio. And that's where we have a text room in there. It's called MSP Waves-Audience. So that's where we're all chatting along, everybody who's listening. And Beans has just shared that link to their server. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, certainly check that out. Now, Beans, before you had joined Steemit, had you ever been a blogger or anything like that, or is this your first experience with all of that?
No, I had actually dabbled with the idea of blogging because I was a fitness instructor and I wanted to start a fitness blog. But when I actually started it, I very quickly got bored. And then I was training this puppy, and I thought that would be interesting. But I only had her for a short time, um, so yeah, no, like I don't think I ever thought I would really be a blogger. I had ideas, but I never thought that I'd build the audience or anything like that. So it's really exciting that I'm doing it now. Um, but at the same time, I kind of feel like Steam is kind of lacking in opportunities for people because when you come on, basically your best option is to go for is blog, even if you're not a very good blogger. So yeah, I'd love to see like alternative options. Be a curator kind of thing.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept with where Steam is right now. It's, there is this culture of, you have to, of course, produce good content and all these things. And that is a lot of pressure for some new users.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like it's very easy as well in the current system to throw out just a picture and buy an upvote, and then you've got just a few cents. But yeah, it's tough these days.
Yeah, it would be better if when people come in, like, there are things like the Minnow Support Project, of course, and there are, of course, how to posts out there and things of that nature, but they seem to be uh, people who don't maybe find those things right away. And if there was a way to get them that information right when they first joined Steemit about the culture of Steemit and things like that, they might understand a little better maybe.
Yeah, I think Steve Graven keeps saying to me, let me see if I can find it. What was it again? Oh, I forget now. It's love and something. But he basically means he's not in the chat. But he basically it means like instead of when someone spams you or something, we're kind of getting into the habit now of instead of saying don't spam me or I'll flag your post, we're kind of trying to invite them into the communities and tell them, look, if you talk to these people, especially because like I have delegation from Smooth, so I kind of feel like a lot of people come to the server just looking for upvotes, which I'm fine with. I'm glad to see the community growing, but I kind of want to get them to realize that I don't have like enough votes for everyone, so I can't vote for them every time, and they need to actually get to know all these other people, get their votes as much as they can, and spread the love that way. But
Yeah, I'm sure that would get overwhelming with all the people probably messaging you and all of those things. I can imagine that would yeah, you wouldn't like that.
yeah, I was blocking a lot of servers for a while, and then I kind of felt bad for doing that because it does seem like you're blocking people out who are, even though they're spamming you, they just don't realize that there's other ways, that there's, hearts and minds. That's the one. Thank you, Steemit. um, but yeah, they just don't realize that there's communities that can actually help them if they were to get invited in. I think you really need to kind of give them a hand.
So if you had a few words of wisdom, I guess, then for any new users who might be listening, because this show airs in part of the Minnow Support Project. So, some of the people who might hear this show might be those relatively new users. What types of things would you recommend that they should do as far as ways to maybe get more noticed or things like that in the community?
Well, the thing about Steam is that it's always changing. So there are lots of ways, and some of them work and some of them don't, depending on the time. Like certain things used to work that don't work anymore, and certain things work now that didn't used to work. But the one thing that sticks, the one thing that's always worked is networking. The one thing that's always worked is getting involved in communities, getting to know people, and getting getting involved and what's the word? Getting into the know of what's going on and what people are talking about, what's relevant. Not so that you can post about it, but so that you're you're fully aware of the community consensus, and you can give your own input is totally educated on everybody's opinion of the matter.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, everybody's going to do things their own way regardless. So, but if you are a relatively new user on Steemit, exactly what she was saying, networking is crucial. You can't just go it alone and expect to, get this huge following. I mean, you got to reach out, you got to maybe join a few different groups, make sure you're curating and commenting on other people's posts and things like that, because you're not going to do it on your own, right? I mean, would you agree with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, definitely. I'd also say, I mean, expectations should be managed. If somebody brought you on saying, this is the place to make money, it's going to happen gradually. But yeah, through networking, that does happen gradually, and you do learn things from them as well. Like if sometimes it's not just because you don't have any followers, but sometimes your content could use a little work, and people can help you to do that.
Definitely. And again, we are chatting with Beans right now. You can find her on Steemit. It's at BEANZ. I've shared the link to her profile a couple of times in the chat, so feel free to look up her blog as well. And let's see here. If anybody has questions for her, feel free to post those in the chat as well. Now, Beans, do you have any other projects you're planning, or other things you want to talk about in relation to Steemit as a whole? Where do you think we're kind of going with Steemit? Do you think it's going in the right direction?
That's a tough question. There was a few questions there. Let's see. Right now, I think Steam Steam kind of needs to be turned around a bit. I think it's very much in the control of the largest stakeholders, right? They have the biggest impact on how the system works, and um, the buying votes thing, I don't think it's good for the system because we're in the early days of a social network, and the website is flooded in advertising, and you don't usually get that in the early days of a social network. Usually that comes in when it's already dominating the internet. um, but but I do think that we can turn it around. I do think that if we all come to a realization of what it is that will make this network huge, what will make it spurt, um, then we could, it still has that potential. I'd love to see. I don't know if you saw in my recent vlog, and the podcast talked about it as well, but I'd love to see delegations coming out for free, which brings me to actually a project that I'm planning soon. I'm gonna host a contest for just 3,000 SP to give out to somebody, and it's going to be the prize is basically going to go to the best curator, right? So I'm going to try try to get the whales onto this idea that you can find good curators and give them your delegation. It doesn't. I mean, there's lots of contests giving out free delegation, and I think that's really, really good. Especially because you can see from anyone who gets free delegation, they appreciate it and they treat it properly. They don't seem to use it for selfish upvotes. They really network with it. They spread it around. They retain users with it. So I feel like those contests are a really good way, and this contest would directly be showing the whales, like, you give them the incentives to curate and they'll do it. you know
Well, as a curator myself, and as someone who has had similar thoughts to that exact thing you're saying, I think it's a wonderful idea because I totally agree, and I can speak from experience when I've received delegation through contests or things like that. That I totally appreciated it, and of course you want to go right out and immediately start voting on people and finding good content, and it inspires you, and it really costs nothing. So that's what's really incredible about it. It's so powerful, yet it costs nothing, right? So
Yeah, exactly. And the curation rewards are like an added incentive to do a good job. Like, if you can hold on to that curation rewards, for it's like being employed. So my brother is someone who actually gives out delegation that way. He doesn't give it for free, but he gives it at a discount compared to like Booster and block trades. And he he shows me as well. He's always checking on the way that they're voting to make sure that none of them are self voting. And I think he has had to like remove delegation of a few people who were using it just for themselves. But yeah, I think it's a good way to grow the network so that the best curators are actually collecting SP for themselves. And so even if they lose that delegation, they'll have that little bit of power left that they've been accumulating from voting on the platform.
yes, and and I can speak from experience that that is true, and it definitely helps you out as a curator when you get that extra boost, because then of course you get the rewards and you're helping other people as well. So yeah, delegation is wonderful, and so of course if anyone is listening out there who has a lot of steam power, I mean, consider those types of things because you can be a real benefit to the community by just doing something as simple as that. Now, Beans, do you want to expand on that project anymore? Is there like a specific name you're calling it or anything like that? Or is that still all something you just have in the works?
It's still kind of in the works. I mean, anybody can throw in suggestions in the comment box for names. I was just kind of going with curation contests. But
Yeah, I think it's a great
yeah, no,
idea.
no, no, no names just yet.
Do you think you'll be doing that right through your Steemit profile? Is that where that people will be able to find that if they want to keep an eye out for it?
Yes, I was actually going to post it today, but it's turned out to be a really complicated post with probably too much information. So I'm probably going to split it into two, and I'll post the contest soon after my next post.
Awesome. Well, again, we are visiting with Beans. You can find her on Steemit right under that username. It's spelled Beanz. And really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. Are there any other things you want to, just kind of mention or anything else? I always give people a chance to kind of give some shout outs or things like that. If there's any specific users that you want to kind of give a shout out to or just anything like that.
Well, I guess if I don't, he'll probably be mad at me. I'll shout out to Lunch the host. No, shout out to Lunch the host. He's been the best ever since well a year now. Kept me on the platform. I was actually ready to leave the platform before I met Solange. Um, so himself, shout out to Menno. I think he's a great guy. I think Steemit Graven, like basically the Votu team. Anybody who's in vote, no, I'm kidding. Everybody's invited to vote too if you want to come. But Claiborne. But yeah, no, not much else to say other than thanks for having me. And I don't want to say steam on. I feel like that's cringy, but steam on, I guess.
Let's check in with the audience chat here. I see a lot of people out there. I see Menno's in there that you mentioned. Clayboyne's in there you mentioned. Sir Lunch will be here shortly. He's going to be on the show tonight. And, I'd just like to give everybody a chance to do that. It's always, people always say, oh, I'll forget somebody or something like that. But people just think it's fun and it's good to, kind of give a little shout out to people. So, all right. Well, Beans, I thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. It was a lot of fun, and thank you. I'll share your profile one last time here in the chat room. You can find her.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, and have a great evening. All right, everybody. So that was our chat with Beans tonight. What did you guys think of that? I thought that was wonderful. It's great to have her on the show. Again, my name is Main Event. You're listening to the Main Event interview show here on MSP Waves Radio. You can find out all about all the radio shows at mspwaves.com. You can find a full listing. There's radio shows on every night of the week. So go ahead and check it out, and you can find out about all the shows. It's mspwaves.com. And let's see here. It's about 23 minutes past the hour here. We've still got 3 more guests to go on the show tonight, so it's a busy night here on the interview show. If you'd like to be on the show sometime, just send me a message on Discord at Main Event. And, of course, that's spelled with the number 1, so check your spelling on that. And, I'm pretty much open to chat with anybody here. We usually talk about what brought you to Steemit and what you're using that for and things of that nature. So if you're wanting to share your Steemit story or talk about your projects or your blog or whatnot, certainly send me a message and would be happy to have you on the show. Usually I am joined tonight by Poetic Snake, but she's celebrating her birthday tonight. So she's got the night off tonight. She may or may not join us later in the show, but as of right now, she is out celebrating her birthday. So if you see her around, make sure you say happy birthday to Poetic Snake. Let's check in with the audience chat room here. I see lots of people's names in here. I see Menno, Stace, Russ, Jesse, Steemit Graven, Wolf, Crimson Clad, Seodas. I miss anybody? Don't think so. And then there are a bunch of people. Oh, I see Tech Sluts out there as well. Clayboyne. Thank you all so much for tuning in. There's a lot of you in the radio room listening as well. You may not be chatting in the chat room, but thank you all so much for joining us on the show tonight. And I see a lot of names in there, actually. I won't go through all of them just yet, maybe later on in the show, but thank you all for tuning in. And let's see here. Let's bring on my next guest, Geek. Are you there?
I am here.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure. And are you alone right now, or do you have Jimitations with you as well?
Well, he just got home. He has been really busy the last couple of weeks, traveling and in and out, and he had just walked in the door as your show was starting. So he's not mic'd up on his end. He could always come over onto my mic if you'd like him to, or he can just listen.
Well, we could chat with you for a little bit first if you want. Here, let me do my little disclaimer here I forgot to do here. MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by this show or my guests, of course. And statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the station, and the material on this show is provided for educational and informational purposes only. So there, got that out of the way. And again, we're visiting with Geek. As I'm saying that right, of course.
You are. I spell geek a little differently than most people, and the reason for that is because I have a website that's geke.us, and I chose that because, first of all, I couldn't get a website with the normal spelling of the word geek, but I actually didn't even want the normal spelling because my spelling is a combination of the word geek and the word eek, which is like a word that we use to suggest earning money. So if you combine geek plus eek, you get my name.
Well, that's an awesome explanation. So I just shared your Steemit profile link in the chat there. So feel free to go check out her blog, everybody. And tell us, whereabouts in the world are you this evening?
Well, today I'm in Denver. I do split my time a little bit between Denver, Colorado, and Orlando, Florida. I still work in Orlando. I lived there for a couple of years and had a job at Universal. I am a character escort there, so I work with the Superstar Parade. And I still have that job. I'm a seasonal employee, so I only have to go back a couple of times a year in order to keep my job and my bennies. But for the rest of the time, I'm here in Denver because that's where my kids are. They're a little bit older, and they live with their dad. But they like Denver more than Orlando, which I don't understand, but that's their choice. So I want to be near them, so I'm here.
Well, we're happy to have you on the show. And so tell us, what brought you to Steemit? How did you ever find out about Steemit, or what brought you here?
Well, last summer, I was on Facebook, and I'm a member there of a group called Libertarian Fiction Writers. And they had been posting about Steemit for, I don't know, maybe a month, three weeks to a month. And if I would have gotten on right when they started, I would be better off for it today. But I didn't get on until August. I think I first learned of it in July of last year, but I got on in August. And by then it was already, kind of difficult to get going. I think if I had just gotten on a month earlier, it would have been a little easier. But anyway, started last year, and it really is a perfect place for a libertarian fiction writer. I think Steemit was being populated in the early days with a lot of libertarians and ANCAPs and people like that. So I felt very much at home here.
Yeah, I agree. That seemed like at first what I was seeing a lot of as well. Of course, people who are right into cryptocurrencies and all that stuff, of course, made up a huge part of that, I would assume, too. But yeah, a lot of, like freedom-loving people, like you said, libertarians and things like that probably as well. So you're planning on, or you do blog about, you said, libertarian fiction? Is that how you presented it?
Yeah, well, that was a group that I belonged to in Facebook, on Facebook, at Facebook. I do write fiction with kind of a libertarian bent. I tend to inject economics into pretty much everything I do, including poetry, which some people find odd. But I can't write about the normal poetic things like love and nature. I mean, I suppose I could. I just don't find my voice going there. So I tend to write poetry about economics. I've also written a book on economics for kids. It's a homeschool curriculum for elementary age kids, teaching them just kind of the basics of micro from an Austrian perspective.
Well, that's fascinating. You know, teaching them things like that would be very useful, I would think.
Yeah, well, I wrote it when my oldest son, he was 8 at the time, and I also had an infant. And when the younger one was taking naps, I wrote the book for the older one because he came home from school. He was in 3rd grade that year. And he would come home from school telling me stories about things that were happening on the playground. And it became obvious to me that he did not understand what his friends' incentives were to behave in a certain way, or even what his own incentives were to behave in a certain way with his friends, and how to interpret their behaviors based on their incentives. And so I just sat down one day and thought, okay, I'm going to lay this out for him on paper because that's how I do things. And I ended up with a book. And I had a lot of friends at the time who were homeschooling. I was not homeschooling at that time. I did later. But I thought, well, I could put this together for them into a year-long or a school year-long curriculum. And so that's what I decided to do. My younger son was a really good napper. And so that really paid off for me.
Well, that's great. That's amazing. And it looks like I'm just scrolling through your blog right here, right now. And so you're a member of the Writer's Block. Is that correct?
Yes. I am the senior editor there in the poetry workshop. I found the Writer's Block back when it was on MSP, and it was just fiction workshop at that time, and met Rhonda and G Mux and everybody else who was in there, and really felt at home and comfortable with all of those people. And as I started learning more about workshopping, I thought, well, this would be a good thing to do with poetry too. And at the time, the Poetry Channel didn't have any workshop happening. It was just post-promotion. So we talked to some people and got a Poetry Channel. And then when Writer's Block kind of came into its own on its own server, we had our own channel over there, and it's really grown, and it's fun. It's like Beans was talking about before I came on. It's a great way to come and join a community of writers, but it's also just a community of friends, and I really, really enjoy working with those people.
Well, that's amazing. And so if you're someone out there listening that's a writer, that's certainly something you probably should look into if you're interested. And now when you say workshops, that means you actually like help people with their writing itself, right? You help them edit it and things like that?
Yeah, well, it depends. There's a couple of different ways that happens over at the Writers' Workshop. If you're writing fiction or nonfiction, longer works, they will have you submit your work into a Google document that people can comment on. And if you're bringing poetry, you can actually just copy and paste the text of your poem right into the chat of the Poetry Workshop, and you can get feedback on it in real time right in front of everyone. I like doing it that way for poetry because anybody who happens to be lurking or just looking can watch the editing process, can watch the suggestions being made and the feedback that's given, and they don't have to go to a separate area like the Google Docs, our queue for the different fiction and nonfiction pieces and playwriting, screenplay stuff too. But because poems are shorter, we can just do it right there in the chat. Everybody can be involved, or as much or little as they want to be, but at least they can see it happen and maybe get ideas of how to improve their own writing.
Well, that all sounds amazing. So again, if you're somebody out there that's listening that's an aspiring writer or maybe even an accomplished writer, I'm sure you could always use more suggestions and more eyes on your content. So certainly check that out. Gmux is out there in the audience. Hello, Gmux. He has just shared the link to the writer's block, so if anybody's interested, you can certainly check that out. Very cool project. I think that's amazing that that's has flourished for you guys, and that people can get help there. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about Steemit is all these communities and all these little subgroups, and everybody's trying to help each other in there, and things like that, instead of fighting with each other or something, or like on other social medias and things like that. Steemit is different in that way. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would. And like in the case of writer's block, when everything kind of got dramatic earlier in the week, the writer's block was a nice place to go for a respite from that, and to see some friendly and familiar faces. And we had an influx of new members too, who were looking for that. They were feeling like, oh my goodness, there's some stuff going on here. Maybe I don't understand, or maybe I'm not real happy about. And writer's block is a place that you can come and kind of meet like-minded people who can kind of help each other get over the bumps of the drama that will occasionally happen here, because this is just a market of humans after all.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff's gonna happen, but I think we'll all, kind of get past it, and little things will happen. I've that's all I could really say about it, I guess. But like it's just the way it's going to be. People are going to have dramatic moments, and we all just got to kind of work together and get past them and move on. But things like that. Let's check in with the audience here. Let's see who's all out there. There's a lot of people listening right now, and I really appreciate that. Again, I saw Gmux out there. He's shared the link for the writer's block. Torco's out there. The Pirate Puppy. Clayboyne. Stace is out there. I know there was other people chatting as well earlier. Leon, Nylon, is that how I would say that? I'm not sure. Apologize. Steemit Graven's out there. Menno. And if you're out there, make sure you say something in the chat so we know you're here. Wolf, I see's chatting. Now, Geek, are there any other things you want to mention while you're here? While you've got some listeners, any other projects coming up, or I give everybody a chance to give some shout outs or things like that. What else would you like the audience to know?
Well, there is a project that I'm doing with Gymitations called Comment Wealth. And you had asked Beans, could you turn that? Sorry, technical difficulties.
Oh, you're fine.
I do that with Gymitations, and you had asked Beans about like what would you recommend for New Year's users, and I really think that community happens in the comments on Steemit, and so we started a project to kind of encourage people not only to make more comments, but to curate their comments. And so that's just a Steemit account that that we created called Comment Wealth, which is one word. And eventually I'd like to do more with it. It's still a baby account, and I haven't really figured out yet how to fully utilize it. But that's one thing that we're working on, kind of on the sidelines.
Yeah, and I completely agree. If you're a relatively new user, or really even an experienced user, I feel like people don't comment enough. You might read a post and you might just click through and not leave a comment, but you could give constructive criticism as well, even in a comment, because some of these newer users, they may not be posting some of the best stuff, or sometimes seasoned veteran users don't always post the best stuff. But you could kind of give them a little bit of feedback. Like, I know when I look at, like, for example, a photography post, if they just post a picture and don't even tell me anything about it, sometimes I'll leave a comment and I'll say, well, maybe tell us about where this was, or what you were thinking about when you took the picture, or something like that. Kind of give them a little bit of feedback, because otherwise they're just going to keep doing it, right? So
Yeah, and another thing that, like with comments, I'm sorry, I the dog is totally distracting me here.
Oh, no problem.
Now I forgot what I was totally going to say about comments, but anyway, we can come back to that.
No problem. If you need a quick break or anything, just let me know as well, you know. But yes, you know, comments, all of that sort of interaction on Steemit is crucial in my opinion, you know, and all of this is just our opinions, of course. You know, we're not experts of anything, but, you know, it seems like if you actually take the time and reach out to other people, whether it be through comments or by joining groups on Discord or in Steemit.chat or whatnot, just talking to other people beyond just, you know, hey, here's my link, go look at my post, you know, it'll go a long way to helping, you know, grow your network on Steemit.
Yeah, and one thing that I found with commenting too is that if you start making comments and trying to get to know people and network that way through the comment section, it's not going to happen overnight. I have found that it takes upwards of a month to really get to know somebody through comments. Obviously, it happens a lot faster in Discord servers like this. But if you're going to do it through comments, you know, give it a chance. Give it a good month of interacting with a user before you really expect them to notice and get to know you.
Yeah, and I agree. I totally agree. You know, unless and that's the thing. Some people are kind of commenting, you know, in the chat right now that maybe they don't kind of talk so much or they don't leave a lot of comments, and that's okay. And we're not saying you have to do that by any means. But at the same time, I would be curious of those people who are really quiet on the platform, you know, when they do post something, how much traction they get, you know, on their or how many views they're getting or comments on their own posts or things like that. You know, I'm guilty of it too. I don't leave enough comments. I try to leave them when I can, but I certainly could do more. And
yeah, and another thing that I don't think people always realize is a good thing to do for their own post is to curate their comments, meaning to go through their comments and upvote the best ones so that they are up at the top and so that the good comments aren't being buried below like all the bot comments, for example. And that's good for your own post to have your comments curated and ranked like that.
Absolutely. You know, and I try to definitely vote comments too, you know, frequently as much as I can. When people comment on my post, if it's a genuine comment and not just something like, hi, nice post, you know, they'll probably get at least a small upvote from me most of the time. You know, I can't guarantee that, of course, but most of the time. So, you know, it encourages them, I think. All this stuff encourages other people to use the platform more, to get more excited about it. You know, when people are new and they post something and it gets, you know, 10 views and no comments and they make 5 cents, you know, they're probably pretty discouraged. I know I was when I first started a little bit, but I made sure I got right out into the groups as early as possible, though, too. So if you're listening, you know, definitely think about networking more on Steemit. If you're someone who's maybe wondering what you can do to get more involved or just to get more views to your blog and things like that, just networking in general is huge.
Yeah, and they always say that if you want something, give it away. So if you're wanting comments, give them away. And one person that I would like to shout out to right now would be Jimitations. He happens to be sitting right here next to me, so he might want to say hi.
Oh, we can't quite hear him. He's probably a little bit too far away, but if he if he gets closer to the mic, we'd probably be able to hear him.
I've never heard that in my life. I couldn't hear Jimitations.
I know, right? We hear you now.
Just wanted to mention a couple of things real fast. Geek's birthday is tomorrow, so if you see Geek, wish her happy Thanksgiving and happy birthday.
Oh, tomorrow's Geek's birthday?
Geek. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I think everyone will be busy.
Well, happy birthday also, though.
We're gonna eat a lot of turkey in honor of birthdays, I guess.
Oh, we can't
Well,
quite
happy
hear him.
birthday to Poetic Snake, too.
Yes, definitely. When Poetic Snake comes around, she will be here actually in a little bit. So happy birthday to her as well. So happy birthday to both of you.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, no. So you were telling me earlier that oh, you might have to turn it down. I'm hearing myself echo back. Sorry. You were telling me earlier that you guys might be bringing your radio show back on. Is that right?
We were hoping to. There was a while
Oh, we can't hear Jim for some reason.
Okay. So, yeah, she wasn't pushing the button.
Oh, we can hear you now.
That's why. So, yeah, we were hoping to get back on the air maybe, maybe as soon as today. We took a couple of weeks off from that. I was really busy traveling and doing holiday gigs and stuff like that. I've been performing quite a bit on for the holiday season. Santa and Grinch and so forth.
Well, that's awesome. We'll definitely be looking forward to when you guys can be back on MSP Waves for sure. Your show was very popular, so I know it's been missed.
Well, yeah. Both people listening really found it entertaining.
Oh, no, that's not true. I know a lot of people who said they listened.
I really appreciate all the encouragement, and can't say enough about G-Mux and all of his contributions and his support. It's very important to me, and especially he and Rhonda have been really supportive and just encouraging us at every opportunity. So it's really good to have this community of writers, and I'm gonna mention it. We were coming up with a name for our little project, and we must have gone through 100 names for the writer's block, and then we decided on the very last thing before we all signed off. I said, I'm going to give it one more shot. How about the writer's block? And Rhonda went, yes, that's it. It was the best one. And I literally 100. Everybody was contributing all these puns and the right stuff spelled WRITE and so forth. And finally, writer's block just popped out of my brain and right onto the page, and everybody said yay, and it's just multiplied tenfold since that first started. So yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. So we're definitely happy to hear that. And again, if anybody's listening out there and you're a writer, that's certainly going to probably be the place to be. You're certainly going to have a community of supportive people around you, and a lot of knowledgeable people as well. So yeah, no, that's great to hear.
Well, it's good to be on board. It's good to be back. We took a little bit of time off from Steemit, and when we came back, we just especially Geek, she knows how to do all this, and I'm really poor at it, but she knows the right buttons to push and everything. And so
until today.
And then we're talking. The networking is just, like Beans was talking about earlier, the networking is just so important, and we're really getting fun with this poetry workshop and fictioneers and writers workshop and the screenplay, and everybody's just excited about it,
Yeah, no, you guys have a lot going on, so no, it's great to hear. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me here. Are there any parting words or any other things you want to mention to the audience before we say goodbye? Jim, we got to have you get a little closer to the mic, though. It sounds like you're stepping away from it each time, but when you're nice and close, we can hear it good.
I think somebody asked me if they had
Oh, see, I'm not hearing him right now. Yeah, sorry, Jim, I couldn't hear a word you said.
I think it's the button.
Okay.
Is it coming through?
It just sounds like he's really far away.
I can't really get much closer. I'm going to go ahead and sign off then if you're having trouble hearing me, but thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Now, see, that sounded perfect. You were nice and loud and clear, and it sounded good. So I'm not sure. But, yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys joining us on the show tonight. Again, that was Geek and Jimitations. And I believe you can find him on the same Steemit name, Jimitations, on there. Geek, if you've got his profile link, you can share that right in the chat room if you want. And yeah, they used to do a radio show here on MSP Waves, and it sounds like they might be bringing that back in some time here. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, there's Jimitation's link right there. Does a lot of cool voice acting stuff. So a lot of, impressions and cool things, a lot of funny things. So check out his blog as well if you're interested in that sort of thing. And of course, we were visiting with Geek. She spells her profile Geke. Find her right on Steemit. And of course, we were chatting a lot about the Writer's Block, and that is a great group. There's a lot of great groups on Steemit. There's ones popping up every day, new ones. There's curator groups. There's content-specific groups. Things of all nature, really, and they're all based from people on Steemit. So I find that really amazing. So let's see here. I think the birthday girl is back. So we're going to have the birthday girl join us here. Poetic Snake. And let's see if she's joined us. Poetic Snake, are you there?
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Now, you're actually kind of quiet to me, Snecky. You can turn up your microphone a little bit if you want, or I can.
Give me 1 second, please.
Okay. Again, it's Snecky's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to Snecky. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Snecky. Happy birthday to you. There you go. I did it. So, Sneck, are you still there? We lost her. No, she's here.
You scared me off.
No. Are you? Can you hear us okay, Sneck? Everything working okay over there?
I am not sure, but I can hear you, and thank you for that lovely song.
Okay, I'm going to turn up your volume a little bit here.
Yeah, I turned it up all the way, but I don't know what the problem is.
Okay, let's try that. Go ahead and say something.
Good evening, everybody.
There, that's better. Much better. So, happy birthday, Snecky.
Thank you very, very much.
How are you doing?
I am doing very well. And you?
Doing great. So, yes, we did have Beans on the show already. She joined.
Oh, so I missed that.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I have to listen back later.
Yep, that's a good reminder. So if anybody is just joining us right now and you missed the first part of the show, or if you for some reason can't listen to the full show, I do post it every week on my Steemit blog. It's at Main Event. And you can certainly check out the previous interviews that I've done. We've done, I don't even know how many now, but we're getting to probably into the 30s or 40s range of numbers of Steemit users that I've interviewed here. And here's my blog profile. You can find all of the previous shows on there. Of course, make sure you're following MSP Waves on Steemit as well if you're interested in finding out more about the radio station and the various, the different posts that the DJs do. They usually do that and talk about their show or do like I do and share the previous audio if they can, if they're able to do that. So certainly check out them on Steemit as well. Yes, everybody's saying happy birthday to Sneck in the chat room.
Thank you, everybody. It's a nice, warm welcome this way.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're getting close to the top of the hour here. Our next guest is supposed to be Sir Lunch, the host. So let me see if he is here and if he is ready. He had to step out for a moment, but he looks like he's getting back now. Let me make sure he is all set. So, Sneck, any new things you want to mention about your blog or things you've been working on?
Well, excuse me, sorry. I started a new project. The Dolphin Cocoon project is all very new and it's all going with baby steps. And I have lots and lots of work to do, but I posted a little bit about it and I also opened up this Discord channel for those who already wanted to join, and it's going rather well for a very new, fresh project.
Yeah, no, I think it's great because I mean, like you said, I mean, people on Steemit, they a lot of times, the newer users are getting a lot of the support, which is great. We want that. We want the new users to get the support. But
Oh yes, I think that's very, very important, because when you start at Steemit, if you don't get that support, you will get lost. So I think that groups like MSP and those are just amazing, and they need to be there. And with my Dolphin group, I'm going to make sure that the Dolphins keep supporting the minnows as well.
yes, absolutely. But like we were saying though, retention is important as well. We don't want people to, do well here for a while and then just because they've done well, they no longer get support. Because I could see that as well. I mean, so it's good to have a network of experienced and veteran Steemit users in your group, because I think that's just important for those users to have a place to go to kind of chat with each other. Not that it's bad to chat with new users, of course, because we love everybody.
No.
But a place where they can go to kind of network for maybe planning some bigger projects or something like that. So I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, the cooperation and of course the motivation. Even if you have been here a long time, you can have your moments that you just need that support to keep yourself going. And if you have those people around you who are in the same situation as you, I think that is the best place to be.
Absolutely. And so you've called that the dolphin cocoon, right?
Yes, the dolphin cocoon, but I don't aim exactly on the dolphins. I just liked the name, and the cocoon is for the popping out to a butter whale, as in effect. And yeah, I think it's the middle class I am aiming on. Those people who have been here a while, who know what they are doing, and still need that little guidance and support, but also know how it is to be on your own feet here at Steemit.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's wonderful. So people can check that out if they're interested. You've done some posts on that, and so your blog is at Poetic Snake on Steemit. Let me pull that up really quick. It is your birthday, after all.
Yes, it's my birthday, and I cry if I want to.
And you've been a big help to me as a co-host and helping me get this show going every week, so appreciate all the things you've done for me. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Whoops, I posted that in the wrong chat.
Oh.
I'm not a very good friend, am I? No. Let's see here. Yeah, posted in the room that no one's in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that will make them see it.
There we go. That's
there it is.
All right, everybody. Again, you're listening to the Main Event Interview Show on MSP Waves Radio. My name is Main Event. I'm now joined by my co-host, Poetic Snake. And every week, this show airs here from 5 to 7 Eastern Standard Time or 10 to midnight UTC time. And you can find a full listing of all the radio shows at mspwaves.com. There's lots of shows all done by people who are on Steemit. So if you're enjoying this show, certainly check out the others as well. There's a wide variety of topics. Some shows do music, some do other talk-based topics, but lots of interesting and entertaining shows on there. So check out the full listing at mspwaves.com.
Did you already do the thingy?
I've done it once. We'll do it again near the end of the show.
Okay.
I had forgotten to do it, so I had to kind of like do it in the middle. But we've got the liner done once. Yes, the disclaimer, I guess, is the right word for it.
Yeah, I always forget that word for some reason. I don't know why.
All right, so I'm going to send the link now to our next guest. Let's see here. Let me just grab that link. I apologize. Live radio, everybody. And our next guest is Sir Lunch, the host. So I've just sent him the link to the chat, so he should be joining us any moment here.
I'm sure he's just getting a lemonade.
Sir Lunch. Hello, sir.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Check, check.
I hear you. I hear you just fine. How does the audience? Everybody can hear him just fine. Sneck, can you hear him?
Yes, I can hear him loud
Awesome.
and clear. Yes.
All right, wonderful. Well, welcome to the show, Sir Lunch.
Thank you. Thank you. I am glad to be here. Very glad. I don't get interviewed often, but when I do, I feel like a superstar.
Awesome. Well, we'll try to, treat you like a superstar here. We'll give you
He is a superstar.
the main event interview special treatment, I guess, whatever that is. But so tell us, sir, whereabouts in the world are you this evening?
On the west coast of the United States,
Awesome.
in the lovely, lovely California.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I'm over here and it's like 15 degrees, so you're probably in a much warmer place than I am right now. I'm kind of jealous, but how long have you been on Steemit, sir?
Um, a year and some change, I'd like to think. I get kind of foggy on the exact details, but we'll just go with a year and some change or a year. A year sounds nice and clean.
So you've been on here for a little while at least, though. Like, see, I've only been on here since May, so I've been here about 6 months or so. So I feel like I've kind of got a good feel for it as of right now. But anybody who's been on here over a year, I feel like you're the veterans of Steemit. You guys kind of seen everything, you know.
Or we've seen enough, I suppose.
I guess
Yeah.
it depends on how you want to look at it, I guess, right? So tell us, Sir Lunch.
All the blood and wars.
Oh, yes, definitely. Go right ahead if you had something else you wanted to say. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I kind of cut you off. I just had to throw that in there. But I'm going to say it again so everyone can hear my pain and suffering. Hold on. All the blood and all the wars.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week here on Steemit for sure. We can kind of talk about that later on in the interview if you want. But so tell us more about what you're doing on Steemit, or what kind of brought you here, that sort of thing. Tell us your Steemit story if you'd like.
Well, let's see. Jeff Berwick bought me here because I saw him make a YouTube post. So he made like $15,000, and I was like, "Yo, that's super awesome." So I was like, all right, Jeff Berwick, let's see what you're talking about. And then it was, Steemit, and I got on Steemit. And when I first joined, I was just doing animations and stuff, and it was fun. And then I ended up reaching out to Beans to do a musical at first during Christmas time, some kind of music thing. And then we ended up doing a podcast, and I started doing a podcast, and then I started doing several other things. And yeah, it's just been a wonderful ride.
And you're also really big now into vlogging, right? That seems to be what you've been working on lately.
Yeah, vlogging's one of those things that comes natural to me. And since it came natural to me, I was kind of just like, well, maybe I should just do it and just keep doing it. And then now I'm trying to get other people into it, hence the Vloggers Guild. So you know how it goes. No quitting, Minnow. I don't know what you're talking about, but no quitting.
So why don't you tell us more about the Vloggers Guild? Because, of course, Sneck and I both know about it, but the audience may not. So if you'd like, go ahead and tell people about the Vloggers Guild.
So basically, the Vloggers Guild is a place that you can come to if you've ever thought about vlogging, editing, or anything in that sphere of being an entertainer. Basically, we're there to help you and make sure that you can make it. Because I kind of know what it takes to make it, and I kind of have some connections I can share with all my people. We're also doing vlogging classes, which is awesome. So if you are a little nervous or afraid to get in there, we got you. We got you. We're going to go through the ins and outs. And I also got this thing, vlogging lessons 1 through 13 for the people who don't like videos and you like to read. I type it all out and stuff, and just so you can get an idea of what the Vloggers Guild is like. But ultimately, the Vloggers Guild is a community before the community's technical side comes out of it. So I'm just community building before it's released to us. So we'll be ahead of the curve and all that good stuff.
Would you like me to share the link to the server for other people if they are possibly interested in doing some vlogging?
Yes, please. If you guys are interested, he's going to share the the thing in the bottom. And yeah, man, like I'm totally I want everyone who wants to be in front of a camera, no matter what you want to do in front of a camera. I want to get you in front of that camera, and I want to make you as comfortable as possible. And not just that, but I want to make it a job. For me, it's somewhat of a job. Like I live off of vlogging and stuff. So, um, can I eat nuggets? Yes, you can eat nuggets in front of the camera, right? Okay, but you have to do it like this. Like you have to dip the nugget in the sauce, right? But get way too much sauce, man, way too much sauce, and then you have to bring it in at the corner of your mouth and let it kind of just like hit there, and then it kind of slides down, and then you bite it slowly, and then you make the nugget pull your lip down just a little bit, Minnow, and then you stare up at the camera and you put your head down and you go, now aren't you loving it? And then you end the video. Boom, boom.
And that's
Now
why
you
you're
see,
the
this is why
vlogging
you
expert.
guys exactly right. You give me nuggets, I can make it erotic, and I can make people money. It's just there, and I want to help everyone. So if you're into nuggets, hey, there we go.
That's funny. But yeah, no, I mean, I joined. I had never done vlogging before. I've done a lot of radio. I mean, I've done radio for years, so I've always been kind of behind the mic anyway, but I'd never really done vlogs before. So I got out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I did one the other day, and that was the first one I'd ever done, and that was because of your new group, the Vloggers Guild. So I want to thank you for that, and that was fun to do. So hopefully I can do a few more. But yeah, the Vloggers Guild, it seems like something pretty cool for Steemit, because some people are doing vlogs out there, and there's not really a home for them right now.
Very true. And you know what? Shout out to all my Negrotica fans out there. We're gonna start a new tag for Negrotica for Nuggets and Erotica. You guys will probably see me do a video very soon about that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all my people out there who love nuggets and eroticness too.
uh, I know there's a few out there, so for sure. So, Sir Lunch, so besides the Vloggers Guild as a project, do you have other things you want to mention to the audience that you might be working on, or things you want to talk about on the show here?
I just want to say that I look forward to doing a video with Clay where he's eating pizza and I'm eating nuggets, and we're sitting awfully close together because of that post, that picture he just posted. I think we have like minds here. Um, Getting that out of the way, love you, Clay. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a great video. But getting out of the way with that, I'm creating a lot of different cartoons. Three actually. One's for kids, one's for adults, and then one's for otakus, so people who love anime. And I just released the first episode of the kids one a few days ago, and then I had a promo to the awkward one a week ago. And yeah, so I'm also doing the cartoon animation thing. I'm constantly always releasing music. I just released a beat tape, and I'm working on a fabulous, very fabulous album that should be done in about 2 weeks or so. And always, doing the vlogging thing. But yeah, just always working hard. And I'm going to create another video game. People were like, another video game? Yeah, I've created like three for the Steam blockchain, going for my fourth, and 10 albums, going for my 11th, and 60 something vlogs, going for 70. You know what I'm saying? And the Vloggers Guild.
That's awesome. So I haven't heard about the video games though. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because that's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, so basically in my early days of content creation, I didn't have a way, and shout out to Clay and shout out to all my hentai fans, shout out to all my Eche fans. You're live right here, and me and I see you guys out there. We're all out there, talkers for life. So basically, wait, what was the question? I got sidetracked by
About
hentai.
the video games you've made.
Oh yeah, video games. So basically, in my early stages, I was trying to figure out a way how to content create and express myself. And at the time, I wasn't really good at animation and stuff like that, but I could make video games in 8-bit. So I decided to just start making games that depicted the Steemit life and things like that. And I think I have four. And so the games, when you play them, you take the role as a new Steemian. I put other Steemians in the game and you talk to them. There's quests and things like that. So yeah.
Oh, and that's really awesome that you're doing so many different things with Steam. And that's what's the amazing thing about the platform, wouldn't you say, is that there's so many different projects that you could do on here.
Yeah, like I try to tell people when I first came to the blockchain, I was an African American man. After about a couple months, I was whatever I felt like being after that. I could be an animator, I could be a music producer, I could be a poet, I could be a ghostwriter, I could be a photographer, I could be a director, I could be a vlogger, I could be whatever it is my heart desired, as long as I had the ambition and the will to put some thought behind it, post it, and ride with it forever.
Well said. Well, no, that's really amazing. All the different things you've been able to do on here, and I think it's awesome. So, people, I just shared his blog as well in the chat. It's Sir Lunch the Host. You can check out all his different projects right on his blog. Now, are there
Wait, hold
any?
on.
Go
Wait,
ahead.
hold on. I gotta interrupt. Sorry. Minnow, I am not a man's man. I am a feminist man. All right. And shout out to all my feminists out there. I'm up here. We made it. We finally made it, all my feminists. Because it's been so hard for us. Like, we couldn't vote for the longest time. And, like, we had to grocery shop. And we got the men's out there grocery shopping now, though. You feel me? So, shout out one time to my feminists. Woo, woo. All right. Sorry about that.
To give your shout out. Well, you might as well give any other shout outs that you want to give because I give everybody a chance to do that. Are there any, users that maybe helped you in the early days get going on Steemit or any current ones that you want to give a shout out to at
Oh
all?
yeah, most definitely. All right. So while I was deep trying to create something called the Vote to podcast, I had someone there very special with me helping me, and it was this cat in the alley. I would just see it every day, and it was like one of the biggest inspirations for me. And it was there with me every time I had to podcast and stuff. So no, I'm kidding. Shout out to Beans for running the Votu podcast with me. It was a wonderful time. Shout out to everyone that supports me. Shout out to, okay, I wasn't ready for a shout out. So shout out to Claiborne because I just met him a few weeks ago. Shout out to Crimson Clad because, yo, that name is dope. Shout out to G Mugs because you've always believed in me, G. HZ, man, me and him way back, yo. I remember when I was about to quit and HZ was like, nah, man, don't do it. Shout out to Jack. Jack has always been there, man, like since day one. Lexi, I remember one time I was at the bottom of a bottle and Lexi just pulled me up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lexi and Minnow, man. I remember one time I got flagged and you know what Minnow told me? He said, take it like a dog. I said, you know what? I am. And I did. And I'm still here. I'm still standing. So without you, Minnow, without you, I just, you know what, I'm getting emotional. I just want to end it with thanks, Beans. And thank you, everybody. That was amazing. Whew. Yeah, I'm that guy, guys. So cool.
Excellent acceptance speech. You could like be on TV,
Oh, wait.
man.
Shout out to Goku. Shout out to Goku and Vegeta.
Might as
all my
well,
sand.
right? Oh, that's awesome. Well, again, we're visiting with Sir Lunch the Host, everybody. You can find him right on Steam at that username, Sir Lunch the Host, all one word. Yes, Nick just
Oh man,
shared the link.
can I say real quick? Yo, I don't mean to interrupt. You know what I'm saying? We having a Kanye West Taylor Swift moment right now. I don't mean to interrupt. But y'all gotta stop flagging my minnows out there and my dolphins. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. I don't gotta drop no names. I ain't gotta drop no like sub names. But stop flagging us, man. We're trying to make this money. We're trying to make it work. And listen, there's a person whose name starts with a B, starts is Beans, you know what I'm saying? She's out there fighting a good fight. Think of the minnows, man. Like, yeah, we got some bad actors, and we always need a bad actor in a movie because that's what makes a good movie. But it's you good actors, you Matt Damons, you Brad Pitt, not Brad Pitts, but you Matt Damons that could stand up and help us as Colin Farrell's and as Liam Neeson's, and Liam Neeson is from America. But it's y'all who can help us ascend to be great actors because you got to think about it. If you're treating us like shit right now, we just gonna grow up to be bad actors, man. Come on. Show us the love. We're gonna show love to everyone else. And shout out to, Full Time Geek who gave me 5,000 SP, who completely changed me. And now I'm curating and actually reading more than I ever would. So you know what I mean? Just show that love, guys. I'm not gonna name no names, but you know what I'm saying? Minnows were the way. That's it. You know what I mean? Without us, what you guys have, you lose. Think about it like this: if all the minnows decide, you know what, we leaving, we out of here, we done, it's over. There's no content. Think how much content that's going to be lost on the platform if all the minnows just dip out. Keep that
Yep.
in mind. You know what I'm saying? Forrest Gump. Love y'all.
Well said. No, I totally agree. Everybody's kind of got to make a decision of, people kind of have to decide, I feel like, what Steam it's going to be, and everybody's got a different opinion on that. Some people want it to be, only really awesome content that people have poured a lot of work into and things like that. Other people are cool with it being something more simple, like almost like when they use the zapples and all those sorts of posts. But maybe it's just the blockchain as a whole will get used for these different purposes. But Steemit, I mean, I don't know. It could go really either way. I mean, it's been an interesting few weeks, is all I can say. But, you know.
I also want to point out that even though I'm and on those other people, the high ups, man, all my minnows, we got to stop doing so much complaining and we got to do more unifying and we got to just get it together. You know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I did the Vloggers Guild. A lot of vloggers and a lot of good vloggers are still minnows. You know what I mean? We got to come together and we got to just not talk about it, but we got to just like do stuff, right? You know what I mean? And that's the whole point. Like a lot of whales up there, the only reason why they don't support us as heavy as they would, and not the bad actors, the good actors, is there's too many of us. You know what I mean? Back in the day when I was around, it was easy to identify us, you know what I mean? Because there wasn't a lot of us, so you could easily see us when we posted things. But now there's an influx of users. A lot of us good content makers got washed into the influx of users because we didn't make it in time. You know what I mean? Before the new users came. So it's also a matter of they just can't find us. So if we unify, we're much bigger and then we can get seen. You know what I mean? We erect a beacon like the Vloggers Guild and then bam, and yeah, everybody is vlogging now, right? And and Beans puts out a very valid point, a very good point, and that's the reason why I'm trying to get everyone to vlog, because since everyone's vlogging, they don't know how to vlog correctly, right? So when you have this huge influx of vloggers, you're gonna get noticed and way more followers when your vlogging sticks out, when you have a narrative to your vlogging, when people can connect with you via vlogging, because a lot of people are vlogging just to say that they did it, right? They turn on the camera and they're like, look at me, guys. I am so hot. Yeah, I'm so hot. Don't you guys think so? Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. I'm hot. Bitcoin Cash. Oh, yeah. Like, no, that's not the way, man. Like, you get on there and you try to make a connection with people and you try to find that common ground. And that's what vlogging is. You know, whoa, that is not me.
Beans is poking you there. Yeah.
I mean, okay, I do admit that I sometimes like to just stare. Okay, only because I love you guys. I'll tell you how usually vlogging starts. I'll be looking at my phone and I'll realize how beautiful I look in the camera. And I'm like, okay, I really have to share this with other people. And then I really don't have what I'm going to talk about or what I'm going to do until like maybe 5 minutes after I turn on the camera. And then I'm like, you know what, I look good doing this. And then it just kind of works out. So yeah, I kind of do ride like that. But that's the kind of confidence that I want everyone to have when vlogging, the confidence to be themselves, to just turn on a camera and be like, I'm so beautiful. People are going to want to see this. That's the confidence people should have. And if it's wrong for me to want to instill that type of confidence in people, well, then you know what? Call the cops, put the cuffs on me, because I am guilty of wanting to make everyone feel beautiful.
No, I think
it's the way to go.
That's just how it is. I mean, you know, all right, when I was younger, you used to think, all right, that person's hot or that person's not hot or whatever the case may be, right? But when you get older and you get real in life, you don't really see ugly people or anymore, right? You start to see flaws as perfections. You start to see different things in people, right? So it's no matter about ugly, it's about what you can live with and what you can't live with. And that type of thing should be transcended onto the blockchain and in vlogging. It shouldn't be about what the person looks like. It should be about if you can relate to them or if you can't relate to them. If you can't relate to them, then yeah, fuck it, get out of there. But if you can, whoa, man, relate to that person, man. We have a lot of people on the chain that are suffering. And you know what? I'm gonna talk about some deep stuff here. All right, we got a lot of people on the chain that are suffering for multiple reasons. Not everyone comes to the blockchain because they want to make money. Some people come here to express themselves. Some people come here because they're looking for friends, and some people come here because they need some sort of help. I want to spread this sentiment that we should be more open to those types of users coming to the platform, and we should treat those people in that type of situation differently because it garners great relationships. My number one thing before everything when you get on this platform, don't think about the money you can make. Think about the friends you can make. Because I've made a buttload of friends, man. I've met a buttload of Steemians in person. It's been awesome. It's been great. And really, money is the secondary thing here, man. Like if you can make really great friends, like I'm and here's my ego. Okay, watch this. So it's a really great feeling when I make the training page, and I do it, at least once a week. And I have friends on the platform that know me, and I can go to them and tell them, "Hey, I'm on the training page," right? Because I can't go into anyone in the real world and be like, "Hey, look at this," because what the fuck is this? But when I have friends on the blockchain, I can brag. So that's another thing, guys. Make some friends so you can brag. It's a confidence booster, and it makes you better. It makes you better.
Yep, I totally agree. Networking and being here for the people is really important, and not worrying about, how much rewards you're getting or things like that. Worry about, reading other people's posts and experience what they're doing. And then, in turn, you'll probably get some views back on your content as well. So, yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying.
I Scary Cat Guides, that quote is awesome, but Sir Lunch, I have this kind of thing where I like to change the definitions of things. So I'm gonna change that around and I'm gonna say, come for the friends, stay for the money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That should be the new slogan. Come for the friends, stay for the money.
Yep.
Because again, if you think about it that way, it's awesome to know that you'll get paid for communicating and having good conversation with friends and curating. It's a dope job.
Yeah, he actually made that into a little rap song, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. But yeah, no, I totally agree. G-Muck says he came for the cookies, but what are you gonna do, G-Mucks? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who's making the cookies, man. Because like, if Stella Bell's making the cookies, I don't know. But shout out to Stella Bell. I love you. You know what I'm saying? Steam aside, shout out all day. But then if Karen McCursey's making the cookies, that's like grandma. You know what I'm saying? Let me get them cookies. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Karen McCursey. You like the grandma steam it day one.
Awesome.
Oh, and let me plug the people out here. If you have an amazing voice, I'm actually going to be looking for voiceovers for my children's cartoon and a couple other cartoons I'm doing. So if you totally want to like work with me in doing cartoons, then you should totally hit me up in DM and be like, I have a cartoon voice. Because if you have a cartoon voice, I'm looking for you, baby. Oh, yeah. Because together we can make some magic happen and we could teach some kids some very valuable things. Don't you think?
Clayboyne says he has a cartoon voice. Yeah, Oh, sorry. Jimitations, who was just on here a few minutes ago, does voice over things too as well. Yes, Geek. Look at for Geek. Geek's in the chat. That's and she's tagged Jimitations. He does a lot of voiceover things, and I know Gmux is saying he knows 3 who might be interested. So sounds like you won't have a whole lot of trouble finding some voice actors.
Yeah, man, you guys just hit me up, and I'm gonna start doing my travel vlog again. I think not last month, but 3 months before last month. I'm not really good with times, but those times I managed to meet 11 Steemians in person, a multitude of cities, and I got to fly around the U.S. So if you ever want to meet someone as cool as me, you just let me know, and we'll make it happen. We'll make a cool vlog about it. We'll do something cool. We'll hang out, and yeah, because for 2018, I'm trying to meet at least 30 to 40 Steemians before their next Steam Fest, of course. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Where are you planning to travel? Any ideas yet?
Well, I have a sad story, but I'll skip the details and tell you that I'll probably be traveling to Ireland.
Ooh, to Ireland.
Hold on, moment of silence. There's that one time in your life that you sit back and you think about something and you realize it's very important, and then you go eat a motherfucking taco. Oh, yeah.
You've gone off the deep end, man.
Sorry, guys. I got to be entertaining.
I love it. No, it's a lot of fun, man, having you here on the show. You can certainly come back anytime and keep us updated on all the different projects you're working on. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun chatting with you, for sure.
Oh, I got to shout this out so I don't get in trouble, but I might be traveling over to the MSP Waves section of the universe, and you guys might be seeing me with my show or a show on MSP Waves. If anyone's been hanging around me with the last couple of days, then you've been hearing the talks and stuff. So, yeah, it's looking like MSP Waves is going to have a new voice over there.
Well, that's amazing. That's really great to hear. We'd be happy to have you on. I mean, you would certainly do a great job doing a show. So, yeah, we'll certainly look forward to that.
Thank you. And I love all you guys. You guys have been amazing. You guys have just been... in my next thing, because I do this thing called the Crypto Drop in the Morning, I'm going to shout all you guys out. It's going to be amazing.
Well, we really appreciate
Whoa, get that Conor. Wait. What's this Conor McGregor thing? What's this? This is Conor McGregor. We all know Barney's the best UFC fighter.
Apparently, she knows that that's a little trigger thing for you, apparently. Oh, well, yeah, no, we're definitely glad to have you on the show, for sure. Any last-minute things you want to add before we say goodbye?
Go Team Australia. And I love Steemit.
Oh, come on. You must have more than that. I know you do.
No, I got to give a really great interview and then a very lackluster closing. That's how I do things, man.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you. I really appreciate you being here, though. I really, thank you for taking the time to jump on the show with us. And, of course, check out the Vloggers Guild. If anybody's out there and you're interested in vlogging.
I got it. Hold on. Always dip the nuggets in the sauce. And always lick before you chew, baby.
Such a professional.
There, now I can take my bow.
He's a superstar.
Well, thank you so much, Sir Lunch the host. We really appreciate you taking the time to be here. Again, everybody, you can find him on Steemit. It's at Sir Lunch the host. And I'll share his blog one last time here in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, Sir Lunch.
Are you going to kick me out of the room now?
No, you can stay. Just you got to mute your mic, that's all. Because we got one more guest coming on.
Oh, that's so dope. Oh, can I? No, okay, I won't. I don't. Okay, I won't. I love you, though. I love you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
And shout out to you guys. Shout out to the hosts, man. Big love to them. Every time they post, you guys should go upvote, man, for them bringing us together and hosting this main event. Is a very cool dude. Snake is a very awesome chick, man. Every time they post, upvote. I'm coming after you with 80 cents of flags.
Oh, that's funny. Well, appreciate it, man. Have a good evening, and we'll certainly be talking soon. All right.
Peace.
See ya. Snack, how you doing?
I'm still breathing.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Snecky's birthday. And that's cool that it landed on a night when we're doing a radio show. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's very cool. We should have cake.
Yeah, I want some cake for sure.
Then we can talk with our mouths full.
Right? Okay, so we're going to have one more guest on here.
Who is it?
Let me see. Let's see here. Steemit Graven is going to be on next.
Ooh.
And again, everybody, you're listening to the Main Event Interview Show. My name is Main Event, along here with my co-host, Poetic Snake. And
good evening, everybody.
Yes, and so, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you tune in every Wednesday. We do this show from 5 to 7 Eastern Time, It's 10 to midnight UTC time. And again, you can find the full show. I'll be posting it on my Steemit blog after at Main Event. It's just spelled with the number 1 instead of an I. Most people don't know that. They say it's Malnevent or something, or they pronounce it all kinds of crazy ways, but I meant it to be Main Event. I just, wasn't very clever, I guess, with my little number 1. So
You were being silly.
But anyway, yes, I pronounce it Main Event. And, really appreciate any support you guys give. It's always very much appreciated, whether it's comments or re-steams or whatever, so thank you so much for that. Let's check in with the chat room here real quick to see who's out there. I did send a link to Steemit Graven. Steemit Graven, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn you down just a hair here. Snecky, who do you see out in the audience?
Oh, I see lots of people. I see Lucky Turtle just joined us, and I see Stace, and G-Max, of course. Oh, and Jack has to leave. Thank you for listening, Jack. Of course, Rondon is here, and Menno. Creations is here, and Geek is still with us, and Clayboy. Oh, I see many, many names. The list is long. Beans is still with us. I'm so sorry I missed the interview with you, Beans, but I'm going to listen back to it right after the show when Main Event posts it on his wall. And I see Saipan is here, and Sheshike is here, Sim Girl, Intuitive Jacob. They are all here. Pensive.
Rondon was saying you were a little quiet, so I just turned you up a little bit. Let's see. So should I call you Steemit Graven, or do you prefer to be called something else?
So I actually prefer to be called Graven.
All right, Graven, I think I got to turn you down just a little bit more here. I think that was still a little bit loud, but hold on just a second. All right, let's try that. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
Okay, maybe I tried to turn you down as much as I could there. Let's see here. I just don't want it to be too loud. Is it a little bit too loud, everybody out in the audience, or does it sound okay? Curious.
It's very loud to me.
Yeah, I'll see if I can bring it down a little bit more. All right, let's try that, Graven. Go right ahead.
I can move away from it if that'll help.
There, now I just brought you down quite a bit, and I think you'll be okay. So I think that sounded pretty good right there. Does it sound better to you, Snack?
A little bit, yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, welcome to the show, Graven. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Whereabouts in the world are you this evening?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, awesome. So right here in the U.S. And how long have you been on Steemit so far?
I think I actually looked today. I think it said 56 days.
56 days, so just, still relatively new here. And how did you find out about Steemit, or what brought you here?
It's funny. I'm a ghostwriter for a web server hosting company, and they accept Steam. And I said, "What's Steam?" So I looked into it.
So that's interesting. So say that again. So you worked for a company that actually that accepted Steam?
Yeah. So the company it accepts only crypto, and I think at this time they accept 30 or so. And one of them was Steam, and I never heard of it before, and so I looked it up.
Okay, very cool. And had you been like a blogger or whatnot before Steemit, or was this your first go around? You said you did writing, and so did you have like your own blog and things like that?
I think I took a shot a couple times at a blog. I tried to write a chess blog back in like 2004, and that didn't really fly. I tried to bring it back when I moved to Hawaii and write a chess blog while I was living there, and that didn't really do it. So blogging was always like a miss for me. There was no real money in it, so I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah, I had never blogged either when I joined Steemit. I joined it to follow other people and their content, and then I eventually started writing and doing things myself. Now, are you doing any types of projects on Steemit, or are you a part of any groups that you want to talk about?
I'm pretty much a part of all the groups that you talked about tonight. I'm a member of the Writers Block. I'm a pirate at Votu, and I support a lot of different things here. I believe Shadows Pub hosts that Pimp Your Post Thursday. I love showing up for that.
Now, you told me you had messaged me earlier that you're really into, is it pinball, right? That you like?
It's pinball that I like.
So why don't you tell us about that a little bit?
I don't even know where to start. If I say pinball to somebody, depending on how old they are, they have a different image in their mind of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about competitive pinball, like high-level competition with some of the best pinball players in the world. I can't get enough of it. I play almost weekly, and sometimes even more than that.
So tell me, I'm interested because I'm a gamer. How does competitive pinball work? Do you guys play based on a high score? Do you play the same game each time? How does that work?
There's a whole bunch of different formats. A lot of formats you qualify on your own, and then you play head-to-head in the finals. So you spend a day or 2 days playing and putting up scores, and they all compare to everybody else's scores. And then when you get into the finals, it's just like 3 games and you're done or whatever.
And you play the same game? Is that how that would work? Obviously, so that it keeps track of your scores for that same game.
So we actually fire up like a 4-player game and play like 4 players at the same time. I play my first ball, then the next guy, and the next girl, and then the next guy, and then we play our second balls, third balls, and then we have a total score for the game for each of us.
Okay, wow, that's pretty interesting. I'd never heard of that before. I mean, I've certainly played pinball machines and things, but I had no idea that there was actually a way to competitively play it. So that's pretty interesting.
There is. I mean, there's like so. Yeah, I'm gonna geek out for a second here. There are a number of websites dedicated to competitive pinball and getting better at it. It's really unbelievable.
So sort of like a whole subculture then, apparently.
It's actually the reason that I originally was thinking Steemit was going to be a place for me, because I was trying to see if anybody was interested, if they knew this was out there, if they would be interested in finding out about it, finding their local league or whatever, and see what they thought of it.
Yeah, no, it's certainly really interesting. So I'm assuming you must have like arcades near where you live and things like that where you go play?
Dude, I got people with like 12, 13, 30 machines in their house.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's awesome. That's really cool. Very cool. Yeah, I had never heard of such a thing, and I think that's really interesting. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I'm assuming you've wrote about that on your blog before?
So I wrote about it on my blog a few times. I felt like I really needed to get a bigger audience, so I actually guest blogged on another blog that gets a lot more exposure on my latest post.
Okay, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
About my latest post, or about guest blogging on another blog that gets more exposure?
Either one. Either one.
My latest post was about a tournament that I participated in. It's on. I think it made the cut last Friday on Adzakli's blog. And guest blogging, I've seen some people talking about it that it wasn't necessarily a great thing, but I felt like for what I wanted to do with it, like I was, I was fine with it. I was fine with them getting most of the rewards. I don't really care about the rewards. I care about the exposure.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially for, a topic like you were saying that maybe a lot of people don't know about or whatnot, and you're looking for more people to form like a little community of, pinball players. So, doing that is certainly a great way to get the word out. I mean, all networking opportunities on Steemit, I feel like, are probably worth it in the long run. I mean, depending on what they involve, of course. I mean, do your own research, but for the most part, joining these little groups, and when you get an opportunity like you did, a lot of times it could be helpful just to help get you more views to your blog, if anything.
Yeah, that's exactly the way that I looked at it. I wasn't really concerned about. You know what the truth is I'm not really concerned about making money anyway right now on this. I do this. It feels good. It feels fun. I'm making friends. I'm enjoying myself. So that's what I'm doing with this whole Steemit thing, and I like to support people, and I'm getting a lot of help with my writing, which is pretty incredible.
Now, Beans out in the chat made a comment. Have you looked to see if maybe there's a pinball community on Discord or things like that? Have you looked in those areas?
So I didn't even know there was the Discord and on Steam.
Oh, it looks like they must have they lost the audio in the listening room here, but we're still streaming on other services, so we'll just give it just a second here once they get it reset. That happens every once in a while. They're listening in the MSP Waves room through Discord, and so once in a while that will drop. It looks like is it back? Are we back? Can everybody hear us? Are we still there? Are we still live? Good to go? Let's see if anybody's listening. If you can hear me, say yes. Let's make sure we're on the air. All right, Gmuck says yes. All right, Bean says yes. All right, cool. We're here. Everybody's chiming in yes. Thank you very much. All right. So yeah, no, I mean, there's probably places where you might be able to find some more people, and just keep posting about it on Steemit. I mean, eventually someone is going to find it who is in some sort of a pinball community, or they're also interested in it as well, and I'm sure it will grow from there. It's got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, so even better, I've been posting about it and then linking my posts over on Facebook, and one of the tournament directors is going to give me free entries into pinball tournaments as long as I'm willing to blog about them.
Oh yeah, see, that's a great idea. You'll help spread the word and things like that. So yeah, no, that's great. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I just can't believe everything that this platform opened up for me, and it's only been, like I said, 56 days.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure most people here can say similar stories. I mean, of course, not everybody has the same experience here. Everybody has a completely different one. But I would assume most people who are here admit that they were either presented with more friends, more opportunities to try different things, they were inspired to try new things, or to, reach out of their comfort zone kind of thing, to expand on a project or a hobby that they've been doing. And like for you, now you have this new opportunity to share your passion and hobby with other people, and that's great.
I mean, I certainly appreciate it, and I keep saying, like, I wish I found it earlier. I wish I found it earlier, but the truth is I probably found it at exactly the right time I needed to find it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's kind of come out of nowhere for a lot of people, and I mean, it's still relatively new. I'm not even sure exactly how long the website's been out. But, and then the blockchain itself is going to grow and add lots of other things, I believe. Steemit is just one part of it. The blockchain will be used by probably lots of different developers for different things. And it's amazing that we're here in the early days and we get to experience it. And, the people who are here all seem extremely passionate, and they're all very smart and fun people. And I have a blast being here. Let's see here. Let's check in with the audience and see who's out there. I see lots of people still here. I appreciate it. We're down to about the last 15 minutes of the show here. I see Beans, G-Mux, Stace, Crimson Clad, of course, Poetic Snakes here. Let's see. Lexiconical, hello. So, let's see here. Graven, are there other things you want to mention to the audience so that they can maybe watch out for on your blog or other things you're working on? Or as I do with everybody, are there any people you want to give a shout out to or anything?
Okay, so first, I'm working on a project. It's pairing a flash fiction piece with a poem. Every single piece that I do, I run it through the writer's block. Every single fiction piece or poem piece that I do, I run it through the writer's block and get feedback, and I get, I make sure that I'm putting out quality material. So I love the opportunity to workshop my writing. So I'm pairing a flash fiction piece with a poem. I'm trying to do as many of those as I can, and I'm working with Beans over at Vo2 to try to do everything I can to improve this platform, because I just got here and it would be terrible for me if it didn't end up being a place that I was at for a long time.
Yeah, people are certainly, putting a lot of time and effort into this, and, it'll be really interesting to see where we're at a year from now. A lot of us have joined Steemit in 2017, regardless of when, but sometime in 2017, I feel like a big bulk of the users probably joined, it seems like. So, we're going to ring in the new year here into 2018 soon. It'll be really interesting to see where we're all at the end of 2018, with Steemit and the Steem blockchain and just everything. It's a truly incredible platform, and I'm thankful to be a part of it, for sure.
And before it ends, I did want to give a couple shout outs.
Absolutely.
Everyone over at the writer's block, I mean, there are some incredible writers over there, some incredible editors. It's just probably the most, it's the best thing that ever happened to my writing. And a shout out to Beans, who kind of, I don't want to, so she took me under her wing and showed me a lot of things on this platform, and how to do things, and how to be smart about things, and how to network, and because I never really networked before, and it's just so important. So thank you to her, and thank you to you for having me on here.
Oh, well, that's my pleasure. I mean, this is something I love to do. It's a lot of fun bringing everybody on here and giving everybody a platform to kind of tell your Steemit story and what you're hoping to see from the platform, what you're doing with it, and all of these things. So, no, thank you for taking the time to be on the show. We really appreciate it. Any other questions from the audience for Graven here? Or Sneck, are you still here with us? Feel free to chime in if you'd like. But yeah, if anybody else in the audience has got any more questions for Graven, again, so your Steemit name is Steemit Graven 29. So let me share your blog one more time here in the chat. Oh, Sneck's got it.
So, oopsie, sorry.
Oh, you got it. Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm fast like that.
But no, we definitely, we're thankful to have you here with us. We're glad that you're enjoying Steemit. And you're finding different ways to use it, and you're gonna hopefully it's gonna add to your life experiences too, because it sounds like now you're gonna get to blog about things that you're actually doing that you're passionate about, and I think that's really great that Steemit has done that for you.
No quitting, Menno.
No quitting. Well, all right, sir. Would you like to give any closing thoughts here, or any goodbyes you want to give?
No, I can't really think of anything that we haven't already said. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So again, that is Steemit Graven 29 on Steemit. You can check him out on there if you'd like. And thank you so much for being on the show. All right, everybody. So we're winding it down here. We've only got about 10 minutes left of the show. Wow. What a show tonight, Snack. I'm sorry you missed the first part of it, but man, we had a great show tonight. Happy to have you here as well. It's your birthday.
Yes. And I'm sorry I missed it as well, but I'm glad I can listen back to it.
Well, it was your birthday. I mean, you're allowed to go do fun things.
Yeah, I agree. But still, I missed it, and that's a shame.
Again, if anybody else missed part of the show, I'm going to be posting the whole thing on my Steemit blog here later this evening. Really appreciate you taking the time to check that out. You know, and any re-steams or comments or things like that are always appreciated. Thank you so much. And again, my name is Main Event, hanging out here with Poetic Snake as my co-host. We do this show every Wednesday night, so if you're tuning in for the first time and you've enjoyed this, we're going to be doing this every Wednesday here as part of MSP Waves Radio. And again, this show is from 5 to 7 Eastern Standard Time or 10 to midnight UTC time. So depending on where you are in the world, you'll just have to adjust your times based on those. But yeah, so again, this is the Main Event interview show. We have everybody on here from Steemit. Doesn't matter if you're a brand new user or a witness or a whale or a community leader or a mod somewhere or something, we'd be happy to chat with you. This show is open to anybody that's using Steemit, and you know we're really excited to hear all your stories, to find out where you're from, what you're doing with the platform, and things like that. So my door is always open. Certainly send me a message through Discord. You can find me on there right at Main Event. Remember, it's spelled with the number 1 instead of an I. And, you know, certainly send me a message anytime if you're interested in being on the show. We'd be happy to work that out. If you can't be here when the show is live, I can do the interviews recorded as well. I used to do that a lot, so that's not a problem either. So if you've got a project or something that you'd like to talk about, just let me know and we can get you on the show. You can also find a full listing of all of the radio shows at mspwaves.com. There's lots of shows on there, and they're all done by people who use Steemit. So these are your fellow Steemians doing radio shows, and some of them are music-related, some of them are all talk. But, you know, there's different topics and things of that nature, and they're all a lot of fun, and they're all entertaining. So certainly check out the full listing of all the shows at mspwaves.com if you're interested. And they are always looking for new DJs. The schedule's not quite full yet, so if you're interested, you can always reach out to Globocop or Rondon, any of those folks, or UniWisp, and certainly get a hold of them. And if you're interested, they could probably get you a show. If you just have to be able to do that at the same time each week, of course, and have you know, the proper you know, audio setup and things like that. But it's not too complicated. And we're happy to help you out and work that out so you could get a show. So let's see. We've got about 7 minutes left here. We've had a really busy show tonight. I really appreciate everybody for listening. We started out the show having Beans on the air, and then Geek joined us. We were then joined by Sir Lunch the host, and then we finished with Steemit Graven 29. So 4 guests on the show, as well as a birthday snack.
Yes, amazing guests. Wonderful, wonderful.
Can't forget the birthday snack.
Nope, you can't forget the birthday snack.
So again, everybody, really appreciate you all listening. Your support is truly appreciated. You know, we do this for you. That's why I do it anyway. I love giving a chance for people to come on here and share their stories. You guys seem to enjoy it, so thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Sneck, any other things you wanted to mention on the show?
I had cake. Lots of cake.
Well, what kind of cake did you have? You have to at least tell us that.
Whipped cream, and I had a pie made of chocolate. I'm like full.
Well, I'm jealous. I didn't get any cake, but that's okay.
Well, you weren't here. You were doing the radio show. So.
Gotta do it, but...
Yep, someone's gotta work.
So, I'm trying to think. upcoming projects that I'm working on, I am doing some live streams now. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be posting about that on my Steemit. We're going to be doing curation live streams. So I do curate for a few groups on Steemit. I curate for the OCD project, MuxieBot, and I may be doing a little bit of curation for Minnow support as well. So we're going to be doing a live stream where people can submit posts and, kind of maybe sort of chat a little bit like we do on this show if they want to talk with their voice. But otherwise, it'll be basically sharing links and reasons why we should look at your post. This isn't simply just a dump your link and run. You're going to have to explain the post a little bit. You're going to have to talk about where you're from, how long you've been on Steemit, that sort of thing. But it'll be an opportunity for people to share their blogs a little bit. So keep an eye on my Steemit for that. It's right on my Twitch channel. It's the twitch.tv, I believe, /main event. So it's the same username I use on Steemit. So you can find my channel right on Twitch. And I'm going to be doing some live streams on there. So you're certainly welcome to tune in and join us for those. And those will probably be a lot of fun. So I'm going to try to do those at least on probably Sundays, but maybe other nights of the week as well, depending on time. They might just pop up randomly. So certainly find the channel on Twitch, and we will be doing those soon. So
Yeah, the test run we did was really good. So
yeah, people seem to enjoy it. It gets a chance to get their blog seen by a few more people. Of course, other groups and other Discords are doing similar things. People mentioned, of course, Shadows Pub's Pimp Your Post Thursdays. That's a lot of fun. The Whale Shares group does a great curation session where they have people come in and share their posts and things like that. So all of those projects are awesome, and I think it's great to give platforms to people beyond just spamming links in a post-promotion room, right? I mean,
yeah, and I think the curation is just a very, very important part of Steemit.
Absolutely. So keep an eye out for that. I did a link, a post just a couple of days ago where I did one live stream. So you can find that post on my Steemit blog, and it contains all the links to the channels, the Discord server that we're going to use, all of that stuff. So I do a lot of curation on here. That's one of the things I'm really proud of. So, like Beans was saying, if there's people out there who are interested in supporting curators, I'm not saying me, myself specifically, but, helping out the curators is a good thing because they're going to help everyone else. They're going to be voting on all the content, leaving the comments, things like that on a regular basis. So, helping those people out is a good thing, in my opinion. So I'll be interested to see how those projects develop for the curators. So we're going to wind things down here, Sneck. Do you want to say some goodbyes or any other things you want to add here at the end?
Yes, I wanted to thank everybody who had sent me DMs to wish me a happy birthday, everybody in the chats who wished me a happy birthday, and everybody who replied on my vlog today wishing me a happy birthday, and last night as well. It's amazing to have that kind of attention, and I'm not used to being in the spotlight, so special things like this make me feel even more special, and I want to say thank you for that. And I want to wish everybody over at the States and everywhere else where they celebrated a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving.
Yes, absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Definitely very thankful to be here with you all, and definitely feel blessed to have these opportunities. So yes, happy Thanksgiving, happy birthday, Sneck. I heard it was Geek's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to Geek.
Ooh, happy birthday, Geek.
So yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. Rondon, if you're listening out there, we're going to end it right at the usual time here. So we got just about, let's see, a little over a minute and a half left of the show. Bean says happy Black Friday. Yeah, I don't do the Black Friday thing. I gotta
Why
just
not?
work. Because there's nothing I need to buy that's worth standing in a big long line for and then getting trampled.
But it's fun.
You can do it. You can do a vlog about it, Snack.
Oh, I can certainly do that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's out there and you're going to do the Black Friday thing, that would certainly be interesting Steemit posts. I'll give it that, so.
I agree.
Yes, for sure. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in here. We're going to count down the final seconds. But again, my name is Main Event. Thank you for listening. Make sure you're following MSP Waves on Steemit. It's MSP-Waves. And you can find out all about the radio station at mspwaves.com. If you haven't done so yet, of course, the Minnow Support Project is a great community to join. Lots of friendly people there who can help you find your way here in the Steemit Ocean. Again, that's at Minnow Support, and they're under the Peace, Abundance, Liberty Discord server. Again, my name is Main Event. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you to all my guests. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.